Come on, come on. Spontaneous Views, Part 2, Malcolm Jamal Warner. A lot of information has dropped since the last video. I appreciate everyone that watched the video. Yeah, this Part 2. Before I begin, there's a few things I wanted to discuss before I get into these videos. I got three videos. I'm gonna have to touch on them. Excuse me, the best way I can. First thing I want to speak on is people labeling this as a conspiracy. This is the issue I have when people label stuff as a conspiracy. You immediately put your mind in a place where you're no longer wanting to know what truly happened with the situation. The moment you say, hey, yeah, that's, if someone comes out and say, hey, that doesn't sound right, they automatically say, hey, this is a conspiracy. Or they'll take what you're saying as a conspiracy. No, there is something going on that's not concrete with the story. There's some more things I want to touch on, but I'm gonna elaborate as we go on with this. Let's continue this part 2. I don't want to prolong this. Let's continue on with the last video that we did from part 1. Lego.
Had to make this judgment call, and it turned out to be bad. Saying they did not have funds to staff the beach every day, and it sickens my stomach that we weren't there, because I can't tell you how many days I personally spent there on that post. He said,
oh, I'm sorry, hold up. Again, this is commentary from, shout out to Black Balloon. This is the continuation of the last video that I was continue on from part 1. And this is the conversation, not a conversation. This is what a lifeguard had allegedly said, in a report. The lifeguard is discussing a situation that I guess he wish he was in there at that time. But again, like I said in part 1, how ironically, no one was in the area upon this situation. Another thing I didn't touch on in part 1 before I begin. Apparently, Malcolm Jamal Warner got caught in this rip current trying to save his daughter. I never mentioned that in part 1. The reason why I probably didn't mention that in part 1 because I knew it was cap. Because how did you rescue your daughter? Your daughter got out the water, so but the rip current caught you. They knew they had to scrap that story. Because again, think about it. He went in to save his daughter. The daughter survived, but he didn't. That doesn't even make sense. How did he not survive? How did the daughter get to shore and he didn't? So they knew they had to scrap that story. Let's go.
Because of stupid money, we just did not have enough people to do it.
Stupid money. I'm still not
vice
getting.
President said his.
I'm still not understanding the money, the resource issue that they had. How did you have a resource issue? I'm still not getting that.
Friend,
this is the vice president
and a doctor, pulled Warner from the water that afternoon. They said Malcolm was on the floor of the ocean, and that his official cause of death was accidental, caused by asphyxiation by submersion. Y'all.
Oh, hold on. Let me see what he about to say.
They said the man was on the floor of the ocean.
The floor of the ocean? Now, hold up. First question I have is, how did they know he was on the floor of the ocean? Let's assume this ocean is 10, 15 feet deep. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get to it. But let's put this together. You're telling me that you found him on the floor of the ocean. Another thing I want to point out while it's on my mind, because my mind races and I want to get this out, but I'm going to come back to it. Me personally, let me just give you a brief situation I had when I was in the beach and I was a youngin. I probably was no more than 13, 14 years old. And I almost drowned. When upon me drowning, I was screaming. I was a little kid, so I can remember vaguely me saying, "Help. I'm about to drown." Just something like that. Malcolm Jamal Warner, from what I understand, was a skilled swimmer. I wasn't a skilled swimmer. I was just being hard headed going out to the deep end because I was tall and I just wanted to go out. And next thing you know, I'm hanging off the cliff of the bottom of the sea. But the point I'm trying to make is, you're telling me that Malcolm Jamal Warner, as skilled as he is as a swimmer, they said, he didn't yell out for help, or no one heard him around? Obviously they didn't. But you just said his daughter was with him. So you're telling me Malcolm Jamal Warner went out into this waters, and I'm gonna get to that later on. He went out in these waters by himself? And if so, no one heard a screaming of someone before they got submerged at the bottom of the ocean?
Think about this, though. About what I was just explaining. Just so happened, while y'all temporarily had to move, your lifeguards to another part of the beach that is highly populated, that was experiencing rescues and so on. Soon as y'all decide to do that, someone dies at the place where y'all were originally supposed to be guarding. What is the chances of that happening?
It just doesn't make
sense that,
come on, man,
out of nowhere.
And they want us to believe that.
Places that they were guarding, and then boom, probably the most famous person to die on a Costa Rican beach dies. It just does not make any sense, y'all. Now, possibly the main reason I wanted to do this video, right? I found this article to be very interesting, and I want to show y'all two clips. One that comes from a video I did a long time ago. Y'all may have forgotten about it when Faison Love talked about Ennis Cosby.
All right, this feels...
Now, this is going into some about what Ennis Cosby, I think the son of Bill Cosby, about his situation, because Bill Cosby basically said this situation, it basically made him feel like this was his son dying all over again. So I don't want to harp too much on this. I'm going to go to another video with Black Balloon. I think he was dealing with, I told y'all about Jaguar, Wright. But before, I want to kind of go to another video real quick before I go to that one. But I'm going to finish up this one, but I don't want to do too much, but I kind of want to have a, I kind of got these lined up a certain way, but I kind of found something. But let me just briefly touch on this one right here.
And I want to show y'all, just kind of a short clip from Eddie Griffin when he was on Vlad TV. So this article is of Bill Cosby reacting to Malcolm Jamal's death, right? Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby said the sudden death of Malcolm Jamal Warner has taken him back to a dark time in his life, which is his son's murder, his own son's murder, right? Says when Bill got the call that Warner died on vacation in Costa Rica, it reminded him of being in the studio filming The Cosby Show in January 1997.
But I might as well go straight to the video now that it's on my mind, because he said the word vacation. From what I'm hearing, he wasn't on vacation. I might as well go to that video and just end it with that one. Yeah, I might have to just do a little switcheroo, because I really want to give all the information in a chronological order for y'all from part 1 to part 2, and I don't want to skip over stuff, but there's some stuff that kind of came in between that I kind of want to like plug in real quick, if you know what I mean, because I want to incorporate that in here, because I already know it's going to be a part 3, which might be the final one I do. This but basically, just what I wanted to say. From what I'm hearing, he wasn't on vacation. He wasn't on a vacation. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this, and I'm gonna come back to the next video, and that's gonna deal with some deep stuff that Jaguar Wright was talking about. Let's see
when he
if
got
this
a call informing him that his son, Ennis Cosby, was shot dead in a failed robbery attempt.
a lot of people
Bill
don't know
Cosby
that
said the news of
from the conspiracy has the people that like to muddy the waters when it comes to certain stuff like this. Allegedly, Bill Cosby was trying to purchase NBC and a couple other networks, and his son Enos Cosby, back in the late '90s, was murdered. And I forgot the name of the place of the area where he was in, but that same area has not had a murder since then, and that happened in 1997. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah, the fact that there was no more murders in that area is a red flag, big time red flag.
Malcolm Jamal's death hit him the same way as his own son's death back in '97. He said the two even used to play together when they were younger. They were amazing together. This is Ennis Cosby. And now, if y'all didn't know, the Cosby Show was actually loosely based on Bill Cosby's real son, Ennis Cosby. So the role that Warner was playing was loosely based on Bill Cosby, real son.
That's deep.
Right? So I thought that was very interesting. But we're going to go ahead and get into this clip. It's maybe about 2 minutes long, where Faison Love talks about why Bill Cosby's son was killed. And Eddie Griffin talks about how, every black entertainer must leave Hollywood with dirt. Like, you're not going to leave the game unscathed,
Yeah.
There's going to be dirt thrown on your name, and if you don't get it by like some kind of
basically you gotta have dirt
SAC,
thrown on you.
assault.
Basically, you're not gonna leave the game, or you're not gonna leave the industry unscathed. You're gonna have to have some dirt on you. That's how they put it. But to be honest with you, I don't want to get into that. I'm going to get into this video right here with Jaguar Wright.
It was just right.
And I'm gonna basically touch on just briefly about her, what she was saying, and she brought up some key points. So let me do this video. That the Faison and the Eddie Griffin, that's gonna be more like a part 3 type of situation, because I'm gonna kind of end it off with that. But let's go to, again, this is Black Balloon. This is another video. I want to get into what Jaguar Wright. Y'all know who Jaguar Wright is. Let's begin this next one.
Now, more than likely, this will be the last video we do on his death and his alleged drowning while trying to save his daughter. Now, we already compared it to Naya Rivera and how she drowned allegedly trying to save her son. She was 33 years old, and by far probably the best comparison of the way that both of them allegedly died. But we know what is really going on, right? Now, I got this photo on the screen
That's another
because
this is
I heard a podcast with Jaguar Wright on it, and
hold up, before we get into that. And this goes back to the TMZ thing that I asked in part 1. There are photos, or a photo, I'm going to say singular, photo of Malcolm Jamal Warner in the airport in the U.S. It's just a still photo. He has on a black shirt with some white letters on it. This is him in the U.S. Then they showed another photo of him arriving in Costa Rica with the same black shirt and black hat on. with the white letters on the shirt. Can someone please explain to me who was following Malcolm Jamal Warner? Well, no, we could say who, but let's say there was someone following Malcolm Jamal Warner. There was someone sending him certain text messages that were threatening to his life. Because again, I keep emphasizing this. Who was in the right position to take a photo of Malcolm Jamal Warner in the U.S. airport and him arriving in Costa Rican airport with the same attire on? So these wasn't different days or different dates. This was the same time.
I figured she would come out and talk about Malcolm because, you know, this death was one of those shockwave kind of deaths. Out of left field, out of nowhere, very much so harvesting a lot of energy. You know, this was probably the biggest out of the ones that we've gotten, right, recently. Just the impact that it's had on people and how many people are still discussing his death. And to this day, and when I put this video out, it'll be a week later, right? Now, Jaguar Wright brought up a very good point that I've heard no one else talk about. And I haven't, reacted to anything with Jaguar Wright on the channel in a while. But she said something that made a lot of sense. And I myself didn't even think about this point. And it starts with this picture right here. This photo that was took exactly a week on Sunday before, they announced his death. Well, I think they announced it Monday, but he died Sunday, Costa Rica. Now, the photo was taken on July 13th, on a Sunday. So, you already get some numerology toward the sacrifice before it even started, basically, right?
13.
But without me trying to explain the point that I want y'all to hear, I'm going to play these clips from Jaguar Wright, let her explain it. And we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more.
And before he played this clip, I wish I could show y'all this picture frame. I might use this as the thumbnail. But even in this picture, Malcolm Jamal Warner look worried. He doesn't look like he's on a vacation. That's how come I know that it was something else going on. Was he trying to leave a certain area? What? Because his face looks worried to me in this photo here.
Because I feel like this definitely, needs to be expounded on, because I really didn't think about this. And I think it's a very good point that ties together how this just came out of nowhere and how they set this up and was ready to, push this kind of energy on us and harvest the energy from this ritual. So with that being said, y'all, check this out.
It was just regular. It was regular. And for them to be able to follow Malcolm Jamal all the way to the airport, it's like they got him going into the actual, and it is like commercial.
Paying attention. Nobody's paying attention to how intrusive that is.
Yes.
To how careful that is.
Yes.
He wasn't on his way to film a movie. He wasn't on his way to go do anything. He was going on a regular flight. This wasn't a nothing. This is nothing that paparazzi should have been involved in. But then again, neither was Javon Hadley's case. Javon Hadley's case was not a case that should have been being followed by paparazzi.
Think about it, people. Let's really think about this for a moment. How did any photographer, it doesn't even have to be TMZ, how did anyone in that moment just from afar take a picture of him, and you're not wanting an autograph, you're not wanting anything that's like, hey, this is Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, nothing intriguing in that moment but a still photo of him in one airport and another airport, and nobody seen that. We are so indoctrinated when it comes to stuff like this, to where they can get away with this and people will label it a conspiracy.
Oh, but as
Right.
we're starting to learn and as we're starting to see, there's a lot more of that involved than we might want to believe. When's the last time they covered anything of Malcolm Jamal
I
Warner?
grew up on the #1 television show in the freaking world.
You know, he had that new podcast coming out.
Everyone, welcome to our first episode of Nah, Not All Hood.
How many of these
Yeah, on the last video I said not everything is all hood, but it's not every. What he said?
people was
Well, y'all
promoting
heard
that?
it.
So
Y'all
like
heard
he
it.
did a
I
whole
don't wanna
interview with
butcher it
Keisha
again.
Knight Pulliam.
I think this is probably about to be my favorite.
Already. I didn't see anybody talking about that.
Nobody.
Not at all. And it's wild because the second that I heard about it, I knew it was wrong. I felt it in my bones. I felt like he had been taken. Like I said, I knew Malcolm. He was very healthy. He was always in great shape. He was a strong swimmer. I do not see him putting himself in a position where
Why
he
would
would have
he
been
do that?
gotten, overtaken or by anything. They said his daughter was with him,
Malcolm's 8-year-old daughter was also rescued from the water.
but Wright wasn't.
Hold on. She was also rescued from the water. So, who all was there to rescue both parties, both people, Malcolm and his daughter? Because, again, we just heard the story clip that just said that they both were rescued, which means that, let me just give you what I think. First of all, his daughter was never with him. I'm going to get to the video if I have time, but I think from what I'm getting from other videos that I'm gathering, Malcolm Jamal Warner was actually placed there because, again, I don't see nobody that's a skilled swimmer going out in a rip and the water was just all over the place. It was vigorous. I'm trying to find the right word to say, but it was angry. The water was very just alive and it was just all over the place. Waves hitting. It was just too much. I don't see him going out in that moment, let alone with his daughter in an area of the beach where the rip currents are just, it doesn't matter. It could be Michael Phelps. You're not going to go out there. It doesn't matter who the swimmer is. So you're not going to tell me that he was in a mindset to just say, I'm just going to go ahead and swim anyway. No, I'm not going to wait a couple hours till the rip currents die down a little bit. Now I'm going to go out here right now with my daughter. And they both were rescued. Again, hear that. They both, which means that there had to have been a team of people to pull them out the water. But yet you told us that Malcolm Jamal Warner went to go rescue his daughter. And then I guess when he went out there, he didn't rescue her, obviously, because they both were rescued. I mean, again, I told you on the last video, stories is changing like crazy.
But nobody knows anything. The stories have changed. I don't know how many times.
Too many
in
times.
72 hours. Things keep changing, keep flipping over.
And the other man who was in critical condition, how is he doing?
My understanding is that he's recovered and he's fine.
And now, all of a sudden, all anybody is talking about, in honor of Jamal, we're gonna sell this shirt. We're gonna sell this shirt.
Yeah, they
We're
talk
gonna
about
sell
this shirt
but who's
online
getting
now.
the proceeds?
They're just
Now,
dismissing.
I did it for you. This is the last video from TMZ of Malcolm Jamal. This is him in the Atlanta airport.
Dang, so he was here.
So this is what Jaguar Wright was talking about.
And this is the same shirt, the same black
one
hat,
of the last photos.
the same black shirt with the white
Now,
writing on it. He's in Atlanta.
I ain't gonna lie.
And somebody has the same
This a
photo
little
of him
spooky.
arriving in Costa Rica.
Once again, I did it for y'all again. And I'm going to challenge y'all to go on Google, type in
Yeah.
Malcolm Jamal Warner
I did it already.
and airport.
You're only
Not
going to
one
get 2
single
photos.
photo comes up of
The
him
only
in the
photos you
airport.
get is those one that
Pictures taken
TMZ
by
put out.
paparazzi or anything. You're going to see one photo of him that was took by a fan. And I think that fan had a LA hat on. Might have been burgundy. Or Jamal hat on burgundy. You're going to see one. That's in the simple Google search. I challenge y'all. Google Malcolm Jamal Warner and the airport photo, anything. You're not going to find nothing. All you're going to see are these two. Mind you, this man is way outside of his true fame. Like when you could be walking down the street. I mean, you have to be a fan of Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Right.
Like, I think that's what Jaguar Wright was trying to say as well. He was on a regular flight. This man was going to Costa Rica, traveling to his death, basically, on a family vacation. He wasn't going for no movie. He wasn't going for no commercial. He wasn't going for no show. He wasn't going to go meet up with other famous people. Nothing. Malcolm Jamal is at a point in his life where you really have to have been a fan of him and the Cosby Show and other things he did afterwards with, Malcolm and Eddie. You got to be a fan. Like, a lot of kids these days, they have no idea who he is. They'll walk right past him on the street. Maybe unless you saw his photo or something. Well, oh, yeah, I remember him. But we're just talking about the relevancy of his career now, right? And so Jaguar Wright was saying, how is Johnny on the spot as she said,
right
TMZ,
time.
How they got these photos? Okay, maybe you want to say, because obviously whoever was recording this video was kind of like sneaking a video of him.
Right.
It was either paparazzi or somebody recording him that sent it in to TMZ for some money. Who knows? I don't know how that even works, right? Let's say it was paparazzi, which it probably was. Why are they there? Why are they following Malcolm Jamal?
He's not doing nothing.
This man going on a regular flight to Costa Rica.
He's just
chilling. And remember, this photo, same shirt, same hat. This is also paparazzi taking a picture of him arriving in Costa Rica. These are 2 separate photos, y'all. The first one, he's in the Atlanta airport. This one, he's in Costa Rica. Make this make sense.
With the same shirt.
By now, we should have done seen a couple. If they following him like this, I'm pretty sure this ain't the first flight he done got on in 5 years or so. I'm pretty sure he done been on a few flights, and we ain't seen no photos. TMZ running up, yo, Malcolm Jamal. But they just so happened to get a short video of him in the Atlanta airport, and then they catch a photo of him arriving to Costa Rica?
That's perfect. So were they on the flight?
13th?
Hold up. So were they on the flight with Malcolm Jamal Warner? This is so premeditated. Like, I don't even know what else to say. This whole thing was premeditated. This thing was staged to where as soon as it happened, they had everything lined up about what they was going to tell us what happened to Malcolm Jamal Warner. That's what makes this uneasy in my spirit. And it's not just me, it's everybody else. I'm going to do a little bit more of this, but I'm going to conclude the video. I want to touch on something else to conclude the video. And then obviously we're going to discuss part 3.
Then he dies?
Later.
Next Sunday? Oh, man.
7/13, died 7/20.
This is spooky right here, y'all.
A week later.
This is what they did. This was a part of it. There's nothing else to say.
This was orchestrated.
They were literally documenting him, following him before his death.
Yeah.
That's what this is. I'm challenging y'all.
There's no way that you would just randomly. It's no way you would just randomly just take these photos like this and then a week later he dies. I'm going to conclude this video with this. There are a lot of YouTube channels that I see that are muddying the waters when it comes to this situation. You're just putting in views. or you're just putting up videos for views and clicks and likes. You're not really trying to solve this. You really have people out here that are really trying to solve this case, because we cannot rely on the government. We can't rely on the Costa Rican government. We can't rely on nobody but ourselves, because if we allow people to keep doing what they doing to our black celebrities, they're going to continuously do this. This has been going on for way too long. And I'm telling you right now, God is sending out his angels, and he's putting it in people to talk about this stuff, because we are letting it go away in vain. Angie Stone just happened back in February. Nobody talks about it. That lady was murdered. Period. Now they have Malcolm Jamal Warner. They are going to continuously do this. Now, back to the point about the YouTube before I close this video. I am tired of seeing YouTube videos that are basically slandering Malcolm Jamal Warner now. I saw one video thumbnail or title of a video saying that Oprah Winfrey and Bill Cosby had something to do with Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. Do y'all realize what y'all are doing when y'all put that kind of satire junk out on the internet? You muddy the waters even more. Now you're going to have people really speculate. Basically, this is what's going on. They're trying to change the narrative, and they want you to escape your mind to something else, like Bill Cosby has something. I told you this before. I might have not mentioned it, but I'm gonna tell you now. You're gonna hear more and more stories about people that was around Malcolm Jamal Warner is gonna be the cause of his death. You're gonna start hearing that. Part 3, I'm going to be getting into the Faison and the Eddie Griffin, because you know Eddie Griffin and Malcolm had a show together. I'm going to be getting into what they said, part 3, along with other stuff. But I want to conclude this by saying, please, YouTube channels, and I know y'all might not even get to this part of the video. I'm 30 plus minutes in. But if anybody could clip this and send it out, please stop putting out bogus thumbnails and titles to videos that's not going to solve this murder, this case. You have people out here that are really trying to get to the nitty gritty and get down to what really happened. We cannot allow the government, the Costa, nobody to give us a narrative of what happened to Malcolm Jamal Warner or anyone else. Please, these channels got these shock value clickbait channels. Stop. Go someplace else. Don't use Malcolm Jamal Warner's name or anyone else that passed name in vain for you to get clicks. Come on, man. Part 3 coming up, man. What happened to Malcolm?